Welcome back to the Pawd Checkerboard Chats. Today we have two offensive players. We have wide receiver Josiah Freeman and running back Johnathan Arceneaux. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So taking it all the way back, when did you guys start playing football and what are your earliest memories?
I first started playing football, I want to say, when I was like 6. My big brothers tell me this story. It's actually funny because the day David Carr was drafted, my dad had bought us shoulder pads, and my big brothers had us in the living room, me and my little brother, and we were doing hidden drills. And my big brother handed me the ball, and I just like ran through my little brother. He was crying. But like, they always talk about that story. Like, that's when they told me, like, that's when we knew you was going to play football.
Aww.
And then it was like crazy because it was the day David Carr got drafted. I'm at Fresno State now.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, my earliest memories definitely just watching my older brothers play football, you know, just wanting to play football just like them, and just having a big family, a lot of cousins, they all play football too. So I just knew football was what I wanted to do and what I was going to do growing up.
You both have big families, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like growing up with all your siblings?
It was like smackdown, and I was always in there wrestling. Well, my mom had 5 boys, so it's 5 of us. So we either we got a starting 5 when we go play basketball, we go play football, we just pick up 2 more. We always running around the house causing stuff. We in there breaking stuff. We wrestling. That's why we got so tough. That's all we would do. My big brother say like that's how got faster. They used to chase me around the house, and I used to run, like break stuff and run around the house. So it was real chaotic, but it was also like good because we all have like a great bond. Like we get along like we all best friends and brothers. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, just like he said, it was always smackdown. You know, all my cousins. You know, my grandma's house was always the spot everybody met up. You know, playing football in the living room, in the backyard, in the street. You know, just all having a good time. Like you said, we all just had that close bond that, you know, we always just wanted to be with each other because, you know, especially coming from a small town, you know, that's really all we had. So just spending time with each other, playing football, basketball, just trying to do anything together that, you know, be fun to us.
I love big families. I'm from one too. I've got 9 of us. So yeah, there's 5 sisters, 3 brothers. So yeah, I get that whole thing.
Yeah.
When you guys were growing up playing football and all that good stuff, was there anyone that you really modeled yourself after?
When I was younger, I was a big Reggie Bush fan. I was a Saints fan when I was little.
Okay.
It's like my dad had us custom jerseys with our last name, but it was 25. It was Reggie Bush's number. Like I was big on Reggie Bush. Like I remember in elementary, our teachers told us to like pick somebody to write a letter to, and everybody had their own celebrities. I picked Reggie Bush and tried to write a letter to Reggie Bush. But yeah, I'll for sure say Reggie Bush. Him at USC, and then at the Saints, obviously.
That was my favorite football player to start too growing up. I had a Saints hat for no reason. I had no business having a Saints hat, but when he got drafted there, he was like the first college football player I remember liking growing up.
Yeah,
Reggie Bush was real.
Yeah.
Real.
Probably growing up, like when I was younger, I remember my older brother showed me. He first introduced me to the Tavon Austin highlight videotape, and I was like obsessed with it. Before every Pop Warner game, I would just watch that. And then, you know, as I got older, I started finding out what position I wanted to play. So then I started looking up to started watching more Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, and you know, I like playing defense like Pop Warner too. So I would watch like Brian Dawkins highlights. He was a safety for the Eagles. So just watching all those like really just, you know, built my childhood, and you know, I still watch some of those videos to this day just to like reminisce on like I remember when I was younger just watching all these videos.
Well, Tavon Austin, his highlight reel is that thing is sick.
Yeah.
I feel like he was the first one that really blew up with all of that highlight. I mean, obviously Reggie Bush was big too, but Tavon Austin's his is wild, man.
As soon as you hear that song,
you know,
that's what it is.
That song got famous off of Tavon Austin.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your journey to Fresno State. You came straight to Fresno State, had some injuries in the beginning, so tell us about that.
Yeah, I got here in 2021. Dang, that was a long time ago. I got here in 2021. I love the city, like as I was doing my research, because it was also during COVID, so it was dead period. I couldn't really take any visits. I couldn't. That was the biggest thing. Couldn't take a visit. Couldn't see the games, how things go. But I did my own research on like the town and stuff, and like one of the things that really like caught my attention was to see like Fresno State is like the pride and joy of the Valley. Like this is the biggest show here. Like I always compare our fans to like Raider fans. Like Fresno State fans do not play. Like when other schools come here, they gonna let it be known like they don't like you. So like I would say honestly, like the people here, the atmosphere, the love that we get here, like everyone here is so welcoming, so loving. Like it was for sure something different. Like I didn't expect everyone to just be so like open arms and just be so cool, like friendly and stuff. So like when I got here and seen that, I was like, okay, like I like this place. Like it's pretty cool.
For me, I mean, just coming from where I come from, a small town again, no one really ever was recruited out of high school. But I knew football is what I wanted to do. So, going to junior college, doing what I had to do there, then, I started getting opportunities and, coaches starting to reach out and really like open my eyes to like, I think I can go play at the next level. And, Fresno was one of the first schools that actually like got in contact with me. They brought me out here to spring practices and just watching like how the levels changed from like the speed of play, and then coming out here in 2021 to the Nevada game, and like just seeing the light shows, watching the guy parachute in, beginning of the game, I'm like I couldn't even imagine playing here, and it was just like that always stuck with me, and like it being a close game, ended up winning, how loud it gets and just the whole atmosphere, and then just the players that were here before at the time, the players that were here during that 21 season and before that, and then even when I got here in 2022, just Crop, Mag, Zane, Nico, just watching all those guys, seeing how they operate, just the receiving core that was here. I was like, I knew this is where I wanted to be.
So 2020, your first year, you didn't have a season and you had to train on your own.
Yeah.
So maybe explain that for kids who, they feel like they need to have a trainer or they need help doing stuff. How did you do that on your own to then go have a big season in junior college and then get recruited?
Yeah, so 2020 when, COVID was obviously going on, we couldn't really play. So I knew this is what I wanted to do. So, I mean, every day I would just wake up and go to the park, like by myself, just work on, like the night before I would watch videos of like trainers that are actually doing something. Like, okay, I'm going to screen record this and I'm going to go do it at the park, and I'll just be there for like hours and hours. And then when that 2021 season finally came around for my first season at junior college, and I just started having a big season, and I paid that tribute back to like, just going to the park every day by myself, with my cousins. My cousins played a big role because, they would always pick me up, take me to practice. We'll work out together. So especially giving them credit for that, because they always seen the potential. They always seen the potential in me too. So they always, help me do that.
What do you guys feel like you've really developed over the years? You talk about, training, working out on your own, and obviously you're training too. What do you feel like you've really developed?
I would say for sure when I got to college, like I had to learn football. Like in high school, you just playing football. It was just, okay, we're going to hand you the ball, you go score. So like when I got here, I had to like learn, like you got to know how to read defenses. You got to know the blocking schemes. You got to know how to pick up tendencies from safeties or alignments and all that stuff. So like that was something I really had to learn. I would say I advanced my IQ a lot coming to college. And then on the field, as far as like athletically, one of the things I had a problem with was probably too many false steps, like many steps in between my cuts and stuff. So I've been making that my mission to eliminate as many steps as possible, one-step cuts and all that stuff. And then just always getting bigger, stronger, and faster.
That's the name of the game, really.
Yeah, especially at this position. Like, everybody's always bigger than us. So, like, you got to have something behind you.
Like he said, just learning the game. And, when I first got here, I'm like, okay, your skill can only take you so far. You really got to put the extra work in as far as, like, treatment after what you put in your body, the right amount of sleep you get, and just your habits off the field, they're going to translate to your habits on the field. Just, being a all-around a pro when it comes to, your, like I said, what you eat, how you take care of your body, watching film, getting with your quarterbacks, and just doing all the simple stuff, the little things that are going to help you on and off the field.
Let's talk about those habits a bit. What does game preparation look like for you guys? Maybe a couple days prior, leading up to the game.
Well, for sure, we're going to do a lot of training room. We got to hit the ice tub after practice. We'll probably get laser. I'll probably get some shock therapy, shock treatment on whatever's probably banged up. For sure, needles. I wasn't too fond of needles before, but, like, I seen the magic that they do. So I would say, like, probably getting needles has probably been, like, that's been my best friend for sure. And then watching extra film, like all the running backs. I know we all sit and we watch film together. We look at tendencies from the defenses. We look at their linebackers, all that stuff. just be a student of the game, like really study our opponent leading up into it, and then know that when Sunday comes, we got to flush it and go into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It really starts on, Sunday, Monday starts, just start watching the film early, getting with the coaches, getting with my coach, start watching the film early. And then when it comes to, like you said, staying in the training room, making sure your body's 100% for when the game time does come. I do a lot of cold tub, a lot of hot tub, ankle mobility. He said needling, just making sure your body stays 100%. And then I watch a lot of film, like before I go to bed, just after our time meeting with our coaches, just going upstairs with all the coaches, meeting with my offensive coordinator, some of the quarterbacks, and, with my position coach especially, just watching cornerbacks, like who we're playing, what their tendencies are. My coach always says, like, you got to know them better than they know themselves. You got to know if they're, like, they strap their left glove up first, and just knowing little details like that is really going to pay tribute to, like, how you perform on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You have two of the younger coaches on the coaching staff, Aaron Pryor and Delvon Hardaway. What type of culture do they bring to your rooms?
Coach AP gonna bring energy.
The energy, yeah.
We're gonna be in there laughing. I for sure could say that. Like, he's probably before practice, we in stretch lines. He's gonna be the one you see walk and talk to every single player, give everybody a dab. He got a different saying or catchphrase with different players and stuff. Even during fall camp, like one of his biggest things was the gas cam. Like that's his
That was
thing.
so
That
funny.
he started that. So if you see any other coaches doing that, he was the first one doing that. That was for sure a big thing. Like talking to the players before the game, a question of the day, little trivias and stuff like that. He just brings a lot of energy, like his energy. And then as far as a coach too, like he's gonna demand your best every time. Like he's never gonna let you cut corners. He's never gonna let you take the easy way out or not give you 100% effort. Like he's always going to hold you accountable because he wants the best for you just like you want the best for yourself. He might even want the best for you more than you. Yeah, he says he's our biggest fan. Like he loves to see like what we're doing and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's great.
Like he said, like Coach AP always brings energy. Stretch lines, he's going down and back from the defense side all the way to the offensive side, dabbing everybody up. He always calls me superstar every time I walk past him. It could be 6 in the morning, it could be 6 at night. But yeah, like you said, they always just bring energy. And talking about Hardy, my position coach, he's been at the next level before. He knows what it takes. So he's always going to keep pushing me no matter what. If I think I did something good and I think I ran a good route, made a good play, he's always going to critique like, oh, you could have did this better, you could have did that better. And that's just how it is because, he wants us all to be great in the receiver room, starting from the freshman all the way to, to me and JB, the oldest ones that have been here that's played a lot of college football, but he's always going to demand greatness for us because he wants to see us succeed because again, like I said, he's been at that next level before. He knows what it takes. Like you have to, from the smallest details, like I said, it starts from outside the facility. You bring it into the facility. He's always telling us make sure you get the right amount of sleep, put the right stuff in your body. Stay in the training room, prehab. You could always be in the training room before you even get injured, just making sure your body's right. Just getting extra work. Tennis ball works, catches after practice. That's really what pays tribute to like people's success. It's not even just the time on the schedule. Like, okay, we have this practice time. What really going to show is what, because everybody in the country has a set practice time. It's what you're doing after that because that's all going to play a role into your quarterback connection, running backs connection with the quarterback, with the lineman, and that just all plays tribute to how we succeed on Saturday.
Not saying that offensive players typically have a reputation for being divas, but I will say that on this team, I really don't see that on the offensive side of the ball, and it's really unique, I think. No one's really caring about their yards or their touchdowns. They just want to win the game. Do you guys feel that from this offense?
Yeah, most definitely. I would say that was like our thing throughout the whole offseason. Like, we want to win. Like, no matter what we got to do to win, if you're going to be a role player, you got to play your role. If you're a guy that has to make plays, you're going to be a guy that has to make plays, but everybody has to buy in. And I feel like we did a great job of that, like starting back in January, just everyone's buy-in. Like it wasn't a 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like everybody went full go. So I would say that was really the biggest thing that I seen from my eyes. Like everybody holding each other accountable, like from the summer workouts to spring ball to being in the weight room to all the stuff. So I would say, honestly, it's how everyone bought in, and I feel like that's played a role in like where we're going today.
For sure, like you said, we could talk about last game Boise, not having as many passing yards as we would like as receivers, but if we were running the ball, They couldn't stop it. So, we're going to do our job on the perimeter, go get those blocks, help all the running backs, get those second level runs. And, that's what we love to do is like at the end of the day, like we just want to win. And if that's what we have to do to win, then we're going to do it. And Hardy, he preaches like, this is part of our job. Sometimes we could run the best route and they don't throw the ball. And that's just part of it. Like we can't always get the ball when we want to, but, if we just do our job and do what we're supposed to do, those plays are going to come. But for now, like, you gotta take pride in blocking because, the running backs, they need, once they pass that first level, we're that second level to help them. All they need is a second. All we need to do is get in front of our guy. They could break around, run off, from our back, and that's all he preaches. Just you don't even have to block them for long. Just get in front of them for a quick second. The running back's gonna read it, and that's it.
You guys were talking about coaches earlier. What's been like a coach that's been the biggest influence on your life?
John Baxter.
Yep.
Coach Baxter, man. What's crazy is before Coach Baxter came back to coaching, he was actually my professor my freshman year.
Really?
Yeah, I had a class.
What class?
It was ACSI, but he was teaching life skills.
Oh, okay.
Like he was teaching us how to make it far in life and stuff, how to plan stuff, how to be organized, all those things. But then after I got him as a coach and I seen how our meetings ran, like I always tell people, I'm like, just imagine a special teams meeting for 3 hours. Like that's how it was. But like Coach Baxter is probably one of the wisest person one of the wisest people I've came across. Like from his advice, I always tell him like he could be a great life coach. Like Coach Baxter gives the best advice. He knows so many things. Like you could talk to Coach Baxter about anything and he'll always give you advice. His biggest saying that he says to us, and this is probably my favorite saying I always carry with me. He says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it's like that's been something that is like from the first time he told it to me, it's always altered the way I look at things. Like we could be looking at something in a bad situation, but you just got to change. You just got to view it in a different perspective, and now you can start looking at it from a positive. So I would say Coach Baxter is for sure like a coach that has made a huge impact on my life.
It's a great saying.
Yeah.
I love it. What about you?
For me, growing up, I'd have to say my coach Frank. He was one of my Pop Warner coaches, but he was the one that really like introduced me to football. Like he would pick me up for practice every day. When my mom couldn't take me, he was always there to take me. Pick me up for the games. He was buying me food if I needed food. Like he was buying me shoes after the game because I would just go straight to the game in my cleats. Like he's like, "Let me get you some little shoes." And still to this day, he always texts me after every game. Like that was a good game. He's came to multiple games before, and he's just been like one of those person that I always rely on. Like not even just as a coach. He taught me a whole lot growing up just playing the game of football. It's like it's God, family, and then football, school, and then football.
Okay, all right.
But nah, he's definitely been a big role and like a part of like my life and how I've got here, and and now I could say Coach Baxter most definitely too, because every special team meetings there's always some type of life lesson in there that you could take. In our notebook, like I have hundreds of things written down that I'm like, okay, like I'll go back and look at this. So for me, there's too many things I could like, oh, this is the one specific thing that he said that stuck to me. But I know there's something in my notebook that I'm like, okay, I go back to. I'm like, okay, I remember him saying that. But yeah, Coach Baxter most definitely, because he's been coaching for so long that he knows so much. Like he has so much knowledge that he can just like he's someone that you definitely want to be around and have been around. And I'm glad that like the new coach staff chose to keep him around.
So both of you have stayed through 3 coaching changes here, right? Yeah. So why did you want to stay here?
Like I said before, the culture, like the city of Fresno, like I knew like when I committed here, like I committed to Fresno State. Like I came here to be a Bulldog. So like, yeah, coaches come and go and things happen and stuff like that. So it's like some things we have no control over. Like as far as like I came in with like 30 of us. It's only 5 of us now. So it's like, that's just how life goes. Like things change. So, but for me, like I know I wanted to stay here. I love the Valley. Even though I wasn't born here, I'm going to be a Bulldog when I die. So it was for sure like, I knew this is where like a place that I wanted to call my second home. Like even after school is done and all that stuff and I go on with life, like I'll probably be back here later down the road in life, raising a family, raising grandkids and stuff. Like I love Fresno.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was a little bit different because this was like my first major coaching change, like head coach, position coach. So I really didn't know how to feel about it. I really didn't know how to take it in. So I'm like, I had made the decision to like enter the portal, and then just having more talks with my family and players and coaches. Talking with Coach Hardaway, because he was in runs for the receiver coaching position too. So just talking to him, and I had just came to the conclusion like this is where I want to be, this is where I want to stay, this is where I committed to. I went back those times when when I was still trying to get recruited out of JUCO, and I remember like I know this is where I want to be, like this is where I want to finish out. And talking with Coach Ants, I know he's real genuine. He wants to win. He came from a winning program. Bringing the coaches he brings in now. I'm glad that he did it because I have a good connection with really all the new coaches. But my biggest thing was Coach Hardaway, because like I said before, he's been at that next level, and I think that I know that he can get me there where I want to be, because again, like he knows what it takes, and he's gonna always push me no matter what.
So we had a quarterback change. Talk about first the challenges that is when you have different quarterbacks with different skill sets, right? But what type of quarterback is Carson for someone who hasn't talked to him, and maybe his personality or his skill sets?
Yeah, I'm a running back.
Yeah.
He just hands me the ball.
Yeah. No, it's definitely different, because beginning of the season, we're taking most of the reps with EJ. But, it's just part of the game. You just got to learn how to transition from, one quarterback to another. Just like if it's your transition from one playbook to another playbook, you just getting the feel for it, just spending off time away from the facility, getting the connection, like outside of football. It's just going to help our connection, when we – on our times during football, like on the field, in the meeting room. But it's been pretty good. Carson, he's a funny guy. Like I don't even know how to explain his personality, but he's a good guy. But when it comes to like on the field, he knows what he's doing. Like we have full trust in him, to run the offense. He's gonna. If I just do what I got to do, he's gonna give me the ball. He's gonna get us the ball. We just be in the right spots where we need to be. He's always gonna make plays, and he's always gonna just make something happen. He's gonna turn something into nothing. So just trusting him, putting our full efforts into him, and just letting him lead, just following his lead and just doing what we got to do. We trust him. So,
guys, how has football impacted your life? I was telling you guys, before we started, how basketball impacted my life. What about for you guys? How football has impacted your life?
I would say football impacted my life tremendously. If I wasn't playing football, I don't know where I'd be right now. It's taught me a lot of life lessons. It's taught me accountability. It's taught me responsibility. It's taught me how to be a leader. It's taught me how to do the things I don't want to do, but still do them like I love them. Like, it's taught me a lot of life goals as for the future. So when I'm a father, when I'm a husband, things like that. So I would say, yeah, football's for sure played a huge role in my life. I've been playing football since I was like I said, 6. So a lot of lessons for sure.
Yeah, definitely a lot of lessons. Just from when you're young to where we're at now, like there's just so many. So, but it impacted my life because it gave my family the opportunity to come out and go different places. Travel to. My mom went to Hawaii to watch our game, so that meant a whole lot to me because she came out here to watch me play. So that meant the world to me. And, just seeing all my cousins, my grandma, my grandpa come out to every home game, just watch me play. They know I love to play this sport. They love football, so that's been a real big impact on my life too. And as far as responsibility, time management, just like Jay Cash said, doing the things you might not want to do, like you love them, because that's what it teaches us. Like, small details, like, when we go out in the real world, we notice everything because, that's just the way we live our life. Like playing football, you got to be very detailed with everything.
So we're debuting new jerseys in 2 weeks. How do you guys feel about the Ag Day jerseys?
I like the jerseys. When I was little, my favorite color was green. So I'm excited to see how it look when it's all put together and stuff. I still got to think of some drip, like what I'm gonna put on.
Yeah, you got to bring it.
Yeah, I got to make sure it's. So I'll see.
Yeah, now my favorite color is still green, so I'm definitely excited for the green gloves. Switch it up, something different. Us receivers, we love our gloves, so I'm definitely excited.
What's the emotions going to be like for that game? You think about it, where you guys have come from. You kind of talked about all of it, and last time you stepped foot in that stadium?
It'll for sure feel surreal, like, because I remember just being a freshman watching all the older guys leaving, so it was like the time for sure flew by fast. I don't think it's going to hit me right there. I feel like it'll hit me a couple weeks after. Like, I feel like after the last game or, like, after our last final game when we're done, like, playing football, I feel like that's when it'll hit me. I don't think senior night will really hit me as much because I know we still have more football to play. Mm-hmm. So I feel like once, like, season is actually done, that's when it'll hit me. And then I get a little emotional.
Yeah, that day is actually on my birthday. That game will be on my birthday, so it's going to be, extra special. But like you said, it's maybe like a couple weeks after when we probably walk down the ramp, we're like, dang, that was our last time walking down this ramp, in front of, 40,000 people. But, this game is going to mean a whole lot to me and my family especially, and I know all the seniors this year.
So 3 games left, still in title contention, but what was that Boise State game like to bounce back?
It was a lot. It was huge. I could say for sure that week, like, as players, like, I feel like as players, we knew, especially the guys that were here, we knew what this game meant before it was time to play the game. So, like, even the night before the game, like, we usually have captains meeting, and AZ had me, he had Josiah, he had Roland, like, talk to the team, guys who've been here to let them know how this game went. And we got the team fired up. Like, and the biggest thing, like, going into that game was just our energy. Like, we got to come out here with more energy to them. Like, this, like, we like a wounded animal. Like, ain't nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal and your back against the wall. And that's kind of like, I feel like the position we was in. So, like, we just fought our way from off that wall and put ourselves back in a good spot.
Yeah, like you said, the energy on the sideline that game was, like, some of the most energetic people I've seen. Like, everyone, nobody's sitting on the bench. We're all up for the defense. The defense is up for the offense. And like you said, the Friday night before, the captains, they had some of the seniors that were here, 2023, that were here for that Boise State game, just to, like, let everybody else know, all the freshmen, all the young guys, all the transfers, like, how big this game really is. Like, it's Boise State versus Fresno State. Like, this is a big game. So, we had just got everybody fired up. We just went into that game with the mindset, like, back against the wall. Like, we're going to come out here swinging. Like, it was a hostile environment, like one of the loudest stadiums I've played in. And, we just went out there with the energy that we needed, just did what we had to do, just everyone being on the same page from, the special teams to the offense, the defense, and like I said, they just couldn't stop us. So we just, and just keeping that energy on the sideline, like, it was noticeable, like, from our sideline, our energy compared to their energy. We just knew we brought the energy, and, they didn't really have no energy. We just took advantage of that.
If you had to describe playing in Valley Children's Stadium, the fans, the energy, the noise, how would you describe it?
I would describe it like a concert. That's how, like, you're going to come see, like, it's going to be a good show, like, from the pregame all the way down to the end of the game. Like, I feel like we do a great job at having people come to the games and just feel at home, like they feel good. It's a good environment. Even the guys coming from the helicopter, like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm trying to remember when the first time I seen it. It might have been my freshman year when I wasn't dressing and we was on the sideline. Like, I didn't know they did that. And I just see them all flying in. I'm like, whoa, like, this is dope. Like,
yeah.
So I would say, concert, for sure.
Definitely energetic, electric, special favorite things like when someone scores and the lights go off, and just hearing how loud the crowd is. It's not, you can't really hear it when it does happen, like when someone does score, but then you go back and, like, hear videos and like dang, it's pretty loud. Wow. They're like, you can notice it, it's loud, but I'm like, okay, when you actually, like, step away from it and rewatch it, like, oh, it's really loud and energetic in there. Everybody, when they do the flashlights, they turn the lights off. Everybody put their flashlights on. That was one of the things I remember when I came on a visit in 2021. I'm like I couldn't imagine playing here. But now that I'm here playing it, it's like I still never take it for granted. I enjoy every moment. Walking down the tunnel, running through the smoke, just taking it all in. It still gives me chills every time.
All right, we'll do some fun questions. I usually do this by position group, but since you're in different ones, we'll just do the whole offense,
Yeah,
okay?
Okay.
So if you had to have someone on the offense pick out a new wardrobe for you, and you can't have any input, who would it be?
New wardrobe on the offense.
You're talking about drip, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Let me
mean,
see.
Cause we got some people
Offense.
that put it on.
Yeah.
Who you think, Josiah?
I'm gonna let Roland. Rolling.
Rolling.
Because
Okay.
he be saying he put it on. But I don't know.
have you seen it yet, though?
I have.
Yeah.
I have,
Okay.
Because he be asking us like, hey, this look good together. This go Matt. This go to him. I'm like, yes, bro. So I feel like it'll just be interesting to see what he would try to put on one of us.
Okay. So you're going to go rolling.
Yeah.
For me, I'll probably go Jalil. Jalil McLean.
Yeah.
Okay.
He be putting it on.
Yeah. Jalil be putting it on.
Yeah.
That's a
Who-
good pick. That's a good
Yeah.
pick.
Who does not get the ox?
Who not getting the
Oh,
ox?
Nope.
man. Let me see.
We only get one.
He's like, I have a list, actually.
Wayne Knox.
Who's not getting the ox?
On the offense or the whole team?
Offense.
Okay,
Offense.
offense.
Okay.
Probably Spomer.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been in the car with him a couple times. I'm like, bro, just turn it down. We'll just talk.
We'll just talk. Silence.
Yeah.
Cause I definitely hopping on the ox in the weight room. I'm trying to think who done got on the iPad and played something. I'm just like looked at him.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I probably wouldn't let EJ on Ox. EJ said he doesn't listen to music. I
Yeah.
always try to get EJ like, man, what's your go-to song? He'd be like, I don't know,
don't
dude.
listen to
Whatever
music.
comes on. I'm like, yeah, you not getting Ox.
They be playing like Rod Wave or like someone or like he'd be like, I'd be like, EJ, you know who this is? He's like, no clue. I'm like,
Who would win Love Island?
Cool and Love Island. On the offense,
That's a loaded question.
that is a.
Well,
I mean, I'm gonna say myself.
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna win Love Island.
Let me see. Who would win Love Island on the offense? If Jay Cash was here, I probably would have said Jay Cash too.
See,
Okay.
that's two.
There we go. Last one. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Go to karaoke
Or
song.
if you had to pick a karaoke song.
I'm gonna play "Lonely Child" by Youngboy, Never Broke Again, and I'm gonna get it lit. Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
I'll probably play Untouchable by Youngboy. We're both Youngboy fans, so
Yeah.
definitely one of those songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for sitting down with us today, guys.
First, thank you for having us.
And thanks, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you next time on the pod.